Chapter 4. Then. I can't believe Eddie asked me out on a date. He said it's not a date. But what do you call it when you want to take someone out for some fancy French toast and you barely know them? I don't know exactly how old he is, but he is definitely a bit too old for me. I don't know what to expect. Why did I say yes? Maybe because he kept asking me. He didn't just ask once. He basically made me say yes. About a week ago, he started calling me Bunny at work. I laughed it off at first. How weird. He said, "It's because you only eat plants, and you look like a bunny rabbit when you chew your food." Now I think it's kind of cute, even though I'm not sure how to feel about being called a pet name at my workplace. Luckily, he doesn't say it in front of my students. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm out eating all you can eat with Alana at Rahel Ethiopian Vegan Cuisine when I get a text from Eddie. We had exchanged numbers at last because he was so insistent about the French toast meetup that we figured it would be necessary to communicate to make it happen. Hi, bunny princess, bunny emoji, princess emoji, strawberry emoji, peach emoji, apple emoji, banana emoji. Are we still on to get that amazing French toast tomorrow? I put my phone away and sigh. Alana questioningly looks at me. This guy from work wants to buy me French toast. It's not officially a date, but I guess in some way it is, and I don't know how to feel about it. He's not exactly my type. I'm not even sure I have a type, but I think he's quite a bit older than I am, and my coworker told me he has a kid. It all just comes bursting out of me. Alana looks at me sternly. Just do what feels right. Follow your gut. And then she adds, if it doesn't feel right, don't go out with him. I don't know, Alana. It's kind of set in stone already. Well, if you feel like you can't back out, just go and have fun and see how you feel after. And tell me where you are going, just in case. Thank you, Mousie. I will. She and I have been calling each other Mousie almost since we've known each other. It's a cute German nickname, but she's been calling her cats Mousie all her life. When I heard her use it over the phone, talking to her mom and her cats in Mexico, the two of us started using it as well. Alana is still working slowly on her first plate of food as I'm getting up for the third time to get more of this delicious vegan injera flatbread, shiro fasolia, and all the other mouth-watering dishes I don't know the names of. My college buddy turned sister has a body shape that one could argue is the opposite of mine. Not only is she only 5 feet tall and therefore almost half a foot shorter, but she's tiny all the way around. Therefore, she doesn't eat that much. Or maybe it's the other way around. She has the shape I always wanted when I still lived in Germany. Small, petite, not too many voluptuous curves, and cute. Her dark hair is growing back strong from a buzz cut earlier this year, and her face resembles a Latina version of Scarlett Johansson. By saying I am her opposite, I don't mean I'm tall and fat. At 5'5", I consider myself a normal-sized woman. My butt has always been the widest part of my body, and with my waist being the slimmest, that gives me an hourglass shape, which I never felt was appreciated by the general public in my home country, or by me. Women, for as long as I could think, have always wanted to look like young girls, as thin and straight as possible. My curviness always made me feel like too much. Especially now. I've gained weight since I moved here. My dream of becoming a hot stick figure seems even further out of reach, which is why I went from being vegetarian to being vegan, figuring all I'd be able to eat from then on is vegetables. But oh, was I wrong. I basically live in a vegan mecca. There are so many vegan junk food options in Los Angeles. At least I have a cute face, I tell myself. And none of these thoughts can stop me from enjoying this food right now. Once I'm back home, I decide to text Eddie back. Even though something in me doesn't want to go, and I have this weird feeling, I also don't want to cancel. I need to get out of the house more anyway. And it's probably just my inner pig dog, as we Germans call our comfort zone, that's holding me back. I'm not meeting anyone, not going out, just hiding in my bed when I'm not at work. I will not listen to it this time. I'm just going to do it. Sure, what time did you think of going there? I have to start work at 2 p.m. Immediately my phone croaks with an answer from him. Yeah, meet me on the corner of West 2nd Street and Delarmo Avenue in San Pedro. That's where I live, and I can drive from here. I'm so excited. If I were a puppy, my tail would be wagging. I hope you'll like the French toast. Whoa, that's a little over-enthusiastic, isn't it? I wish Alana was still here. Talk about a casual meetup for French toast. I type in his address in Google Maps and can't help gawping when I see how far he lives. How does he drive up to Pasadena twice a week just to teach a few lessons? It says it's 40 minutes away without traffic. Hesitantly, I start typing again. At this point, I really don't want to go anymore, but now I'm even further in. And backing out would be horrible, especially after his wagging puppy tail analogy. OMG, Eddie, that is so far, but okay, I just have to be back by 1 p.m. at the latest. I will come and get you then, or we can do it on a day that you don't work. Phew, I got away, at least for tomorrow. Friday I don't, that might work better. He then offers again to pick me up, and I decline. Being stuck in a car with someone for that long might not be a good thing. Okay, if you come down here, we can go to the beach or the park afterward if you want. I think you just might like it out here. Why is he so uber engaged? He barely knows me, and he claimed this wasn't even a date. I don't know about this, but let's just get it over with. Okay, that sounds nice. Awesome, I can't wait. I know, I can see that. I almost want to text him that, but instead I just text back a simple smiley. Let's not make him think I'm interested in him pursuing me in any way. On Thursday evening, I'm starting to have second thoughts again. The way he's texting me and approaching me just seems way too flirty. I'm not interested in him like that. And before he gets even more excited, buys me brunch, and expects something more from me, I want to be clear about how I feel and how I don't feel. Also, I don't really want to go. My comfort zone is pulling hard right now to try to keep me at home instead of driving through all of LA to a guy I'm not interested in like that. So I draft a text and send it. Hey Eddie, good morning. I'm still able to come down there. I just wanted to let you know that right now I'm not really looking to date. I just want to make sure we're on the same page, and I have a feeling you have different intentions. In that case, I don't want to waste your time or money. That should do it. Now it's clear. I won't have to go. I basically already rejected him. 15 minutes later, my phone croaks with an answer from him. Don't worry, Bunny. I'm not looking for anything. No need to worry. I don't want you to feel like there's anything more than simple friendship and fun and laughter and just getting to know one another. No need to worry about a thing, promise. Still hesitant, I type. Okay, sounds good. What time should I be there then? 10-ish? Luckily, there's not too much traffic anymore. It takes me 45 minutes to go to the address Eddie gave me. I think I'm here. I'm parked on the street. I'm in a blue Scion. Give me a few minutes. I just ran to the grocery store. What? He knew I was coming. I'm even a few minutes late. It's not like I showed up early or anything. But okay, I guess I'll wait. Luckily, there are smartphones you can waste all your time on, and that's exactly what I'm doing. After 10 minutes, a golden Honda pulls up next to my car with shiny rims and the tinted passenger window rolling down. It's Eddie. What in the world have I gotten myself into, and when can I go home? I think to myself. Hi, Bunny, he says with a big smile on his face. Hi, I managed to get out. I think I have to use the bathroom before we go anywhere. Would that be okay? I'm nervous, and I could have done without going to his place, but a girl's gotta go when she's gotta go. Also, is my car okay here for now? I'm always worried about street parking in LA, but apart from that, the neighborhood doesn't quite live up to Pasadena's cleanliness. There's trash lying around on the street, and next to me is a small park with nothing in it other than some guys on BMX bikes gathered in a group. Your car is fine here, Bunny. Do you want to just hop in the car with me and I'll bring you to my bathroom? How weird. I thought he lived here. But okay, there's no going back from here. Alana knows where I am, and Eddie works with me after all. They have his address. He holds the car door open for me from the driver's seat. I sit down on the old, shiny beige leather. He turns the car around and immediately turns right into a parking garage. We just have to take the elevator up. As he opens the door to his studio, a big kitchen island greets us first thing. It looks nice and somewhat fancy. Definitely much nicer than our apartment. But I notice there's no furniture. He must have just moved in here. I'm so sorry for the mess. If I had known you'd come in, I would have cleaned up. He busies himself by grabbing 2 fluffy-looking rugs from the floor and bringing them into what I'm assuming is the bathroom. There, he says, all ready for you to go in now. I just have a no-shoes policy. Of course, I answer. I don't like to wear shoes inside either. I take off my shoes and make my way into the bathroom, a small jungle with fluffy white bath rugs, several plants, 2 sinks, huge mirrors, and a candle he must have lit just a minute ago. Why? I don't know. But this bathroom looks nice. Elegant but cozy. Impressed while relieving myself, I think maybe this isn't all super bad. I feel a little more comfortable now. Let's just see what else the day brings. So what's your favorite fruit, Bunny? He asks when we're finally on our way. My favorite fruit? Yeah, every time I ask you what you like to eat, you say fruit. Fair enough. Let's see, I answer slowly. I really like white sapote and durian. Have you heard of that? White satate and durian? Last I checked, durian was a name, not a fruit. He laughs. No, durian. It's what they call the stinkiest fruit on earth. It smells like gasoline when you open it, but it's quite creamy and good when you actually dare to bite into it. They only sell them at Asian markets, though, and mostly frozen. And they're expensive. I'm rambling. Not too long ago, I started experimenting with a raw vegan diet after juicing on and off for several months. Once I switched to mainly fruits, I started having all this energy. I haven't felt better in my life, as long as I can remember. I started going to Fruit Lux by the beach, where everybody brought fruit to share, and there were always a few generous people who brought durian. I became so passionate about healthy eating, and I loved how I felt. My mind cleared up, and all of a sudden, I really wanted to go running instead of having to convince myself for hours before I finally put my Asics on and got going. But going out with friends wasn't the same anymore. With this newfound diet of mine, I started to alienate myself in so many ways. Giving up alcohol wasn't the worst thing. Going out to eat and smelling the food, not being able to order anything off the menu was tougher. And then there were the conversations with basically everyone I knew. Eating that many bananas isn't healthy. You can overdose on potassium. Or, you know this isn't sustainable, right? Or the good old, animals were put on this planet for us to eat them. I knew how I felt, and I knew that most of these comments were just general belief statements without actual research. But it started to become really exhausting, justifying my way of life. So I slowly but surely transitioned back into a normal vegan diet while still trying to keep the first half of my days filled with fruit. Stinky fruit? Eddie says skeptically. Okay, and what about satapo? Sapote? I chuckle. Sapote comes in different varieties, even one that tastes like chocolate pudding, but I don't want to bore you with exotic fruit talk. I also like normal fruits like strawberries, mangoes, and figs. Figs, huh? Yeah, they're in season right now, and they're so good and so healthy. Okay, Bunny, I'm not sure that's true, but maybe we'll have to try them sometime. Okay, I offer hesitantly. 15 minutes into our car ride, I decide to ask Eddie where that oh-so-special place is that supposedly has the best French toast in all of LA, that I was supposed to eat despite my veganness. He wouldn't tell me earlier. He just kept saying it was a surprise. Until now. He says, we're going to Costa Mesa. Costa Mesa, I blurt out. That's super far. I mean, to get French toast. It's not that far, Bunny Rabbit, he counters. Nothing is too far to have you try the best French toast I know of. That damn French toast, I'm thinking. Why did I agree to do this? I don't even eat dairy or eggs anymore. How in the world did I let him convince me to do this? Probably because in the beginning, it sounded like a small deal, getting breakfast somewhere really quick. And this is probably why he didn't tell me how far we'd be going, because he knew I wouldn't have come. Another 20 minutes later, we pull into what looks like a plain old regular strip mall in Costa Mesa. The parking lot is packed. I don't see any fancy restaurants, just regular shops. Is this a setup? I'm thinking, what is this? Eddie asks me to stay in the car so he can open the car door for me. This feels so silly. No man in Germany would ever make the effort to open car doors for me. None that I've known, at least. Over there, he points out the direction we're going. In the corner of the strip mall, behind two square pillars, is a small eatery called Plum's Cafe with some outside tables on what looks like a sidewalk. Not impressed, I think to myself. At least we're here now. The waitress seats us at a small round table outside. After almost 3 years of living here, I finally got used to the fact that you can't just choose any table like in Europe, where you walk in and sit down at any table of your liking, and one of the servers will find you. The outside tables are made of metal, and so are the chairs. It's the typical garden furniture lots of people have, and the chairs always seem to be slightly wiggling, including the one I'm sitting on right now. I still feel somewhat uncomfortable sitting across from a man I don't really know who seems to have some weird obsession with me. The size of the table in between us isn't really helping. As the waitress brings our menus, Eddie grins at her with big shiny white teeth and says, "We already know what we want. We came here for the best French toast." And then he adds, looking at me, "But you should maybe have a look at it anyway to see if you want to order something else." Something else, I'm thinking. We came here for that freaking French toast, and now I can just order something I could order anywhere else in LA? Okay, yeah, I say instead. The waitress smiles and says, "I'll give you guys a few minutes," and then disappears back inside. I start looking at the menu and see freshly squeezed orange juice for $5. They have fresh orange juice, I say. I think I'm good with that. I wouldn't be cheating on my fruity diet as much if I just had that and a few bites of Eddie's French toast. "Oh yeah," Eddie says, "we're definitely gonna get the OJ. But what else do you want, Bunny? You should get something to eat. A sandwich, maybe?" "Oh, okay," I hesitantly say. I start looking at the menu again, and they do have a vegan sandwich. So, after 3 minutes of mentally going back and forth between the sandwich and the fruit cup, I end up choosing the sandwich, being sure that the fruit cup would just be cheap cut-up fruit in a tiny bowl, like at most other places. 5 minutes later, the waitress brings out 2 rather small glasses of orange juice. These are tiny, I think. Eddie takes the tiniest of sips, holding it like a fine lady would, his pinky finger standing off, and exclaims, "This is good fresh squeezed OJ." I give it a try and nod in agreement, adding a to which Eddie responds, "Let's have a contest," and starts chugging down the orange juice. Immediately, I pick up my glass again, which I was going to sip on carefully throughout the rest of our visit at Plum's Cafe, and start chugging as well. Both our glasses are empty. I can't help but laugh, and Eddie addresses Susan, our waitress, and orders 2 more glasses. That's $20 worth of orange juice alone. But okay, I didn't ask for it. As soon as our second round of orange juice comes out, he looks at me challengingly and says, "Let's go." I take on the challenge a second time and laugh so hard that I have to be careful not to spray all the expensive orange juice back out at him through my nostrils, which is something I do when I laugh very hard while drinking something. I manage to get all the juice down, still laughing hard. This is different, I'm thinking to myself. Not bad, but that was it for the orange juice. And as soon as the thought left my brain, Eddie ordered a third round, which ended up accompanying our food, and we enjoyed them at a slower pace this time. While the food wasn't bad, I wasn't overly in love with it either. The sandwich was on the fancy, small side, and I tried a couple of bites of Eddie's French toast, which wouldn't make me want to drive all the way to the next county just to have it. But it also wasn't bad. At this point, I am well aware that it never really was all about the French toast. On our way back, he mentions his other plans for the day, also involving me. If you have some time left, I would love to take you to the beach in Pedro, and there's another beautiful place I'd like to show to you. I think you'd really like it. I'm having a good time so far, I'm thinking to myself, even though the amount of time I've spent in cars today and the distance I've driven for this breakfast and the amount of time spent with a man I barely know do make me feel a bit uncomfortable. But I'm laughing, and I've wanted to laugh more. Even in the car, he still makes me crack up by being silly about pretty much everything we talk about. Okay, sure, I say. I really can't stay that much longer, but I haven't been to the beach in a bit, and that actually sounds nice. Yay, he gleams at me. You're going to love it. I'm so excited I get to show you my favorite spots. You can take your shoes off and walk in the sand barefoot. You'll love it. There's this excitement again. Why is he this excited about showing me all these things? He barely knows me. It doesn't seem fake, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like normal behavior either. But then again, aren't I the one who always says I don't want normal? Maybe this is how Americans date, I'm wondering. I haven't had a real boyfriend here yet, and maybe things here are just that different. Perhaps this is a proper date, and I don't have to feel weird about it. At the same time, if this actually is a date, I don't know how comfortable I am with the thought of being pursued by him. He's at least 10 years older than me, has a child, lives on the other end of town, and is as different from me as one can be. But he did say this was just friendship. I recall our text conversation last night and allow myself to relax. And here we are. If you want to take your shoes off, I can carry them for you.